It's 5:30. I call this meeting of the Board of Public Works and Safety to order. Please raise your right hand for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. See, next roll call, Clerk Treasurer Aldridge.
Cheryl Traeger, present. Dick Bradshaw.
Move next to the minutes from February 4th, 2019. Any additions, subtractions, deletions, or amendments to be made to this set of minutes?
I move we accept the minutes from
February 4th.
February 4th.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Move next to the minutes from February 11th. Any additions, subtractions, deletions, or amendments to be made to this set of minutes?
I move we accept the minutes from whatever you say.
February 11th. February 11th. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving next to claims, we have claims in the amount of $332,526.81. Any questions regarding the claims?
I do not.
Ms. Traeger?
No.
Hear a motion?
I move we accept the claim from
Today.
today, whatever it
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, move next to department head reports. Chief's already up. Chief Mullen.
All right. I really don't have anything to report. Everything's going pretty well. Guys have any questions?
is. When you get your new car, or
Oh, very good. Should be towards the end of this month, maybe first of next month.
and
I hear.
it's all ready, but you have to have it
We have to have
updated?
it outfitted. So probably going to go with a firm in Lafayette that has been doing Lafayette PD and West Lafayette, other agencies around their cars. And so they have the capability to install all of the equipment and also make do the markings on the car. And
That's a good question.
yeah.
Markings on the car.
Yeah, we'll mark this car. So the car will be probably outfitted, I would reckon. Well, certainly within a period of time after we get it, I don't know exactly how long. The equipment's ordered. I have not received a report from the company that the equipment's in. Yeah, but it should be arriving shortly.
Are you gonna have any unmarked cars?
We'll continue with the car that we have unmarked.
Car.
One car, the
Pallet.
SUV, and one I drive, and then this car will be marked.
So the one SUV will be marked, one won't be marked?
Right.
You got a car that's not marked too, don't you?
Yes, the police car that I drive is not marked.
And the other SUV.
Any other questions for Chief? Thank you, Chief.
All right, thank you.
Superintendent Vansickle. Going round robin here.
Oh, there you go, back and forth. I really don't have anything prepared. I did meet last week with Colin Dale from Butler, Kramer, and Seibert, going over the phosphorus building and parts thereof, so.
When do we have to start construction on that? For a permit?
We need to get going
I know, it's really hard.
probably within a month, month and a half. I think we're under the gun,
You doing good stuff.
even though our numbers are under one right now. September, I believe.
A substantial completion?
Yes.
Even if your numbers don't go above one, you still have to be done by September?
Well, we really can't take a chance to, because,
So if you go over one, are they gonna come in and shut you down or something, or?
no, but they can fine us. See, it's in our permit that phosphorus will be under one. So they give you options. You can either do it biologically without chemicals, or you can do it with chemical treatment. Well, we've already done our pilot test with chemicals. We know what chemicals we're going to use. Now we're just hammering out how we're going to do the floor plan, whether we're going to go with single wall tank, double wall tank, getting prices on pumps to feed the chemical and then get a building built.
What's that process entail? I mean, the building, is that for the storage of the supplies, or is actually the treatment done in the building?
Well, no, the treatment's gonna be done in the tank, so you got,
Okay.
you've been out in the plant, so you got the 2 round tanks, the clarifiers, that's where we'll have a line that feeds into the middle of those. We'll also have a line that feeds into the head of the plant,
Okay.
and that's gonna be for secondary. But we are probably gonna concentrate on feeding into the clarifiers. So the building is gonna house, you have to have secondary containment, because we're gonna be using sodium aluminate. We're gonna need the building's gonna have to be heated, because this stuff does have a freeze point. So, we'll have a 2 pump, 1 pump with a spare pump, skid, and it'll be piped and plumbed, and we probably have to have an emergency shower. I don't think there's any need for air conditioning. We'll have, probably 1 big door to get the product in.
How's it come, a bag, or what?
Oh, no, it'll come in a tanker.
Is it under pressure, or is it
No,
corrosive, or?
it's corrosive, yeah.
So at the head, you put the stuff in, and in the clarifier, you put the
No,
stuff
actually, we're
in?
gonna put it in the clarifiers.
Okay.
It binds in with the sludge. Okay, and it binds in with the phosphorus, which in turn is how it leaves the plant.
So
And the
how do you
sludge.
test it? Where, at what point do you test it to make sure you're?
So we test it coming in and going out.
So if it's over 1 coming in, you know it's gonna be over 1
No,
going
not
out unless you
necessarily.
test it.
No, because right now, it's between 1.5 and 2
Coming in.
coming in, and going out, it's,
Well, what's taking it out?
oh, we don't know.
Is there some little people down in there
Could
grabbing
be.
it or something?
Like Bill. I really don't know, Dick. When we did the pilot study, it took a while for it to take effect. And then when it took effect, after we were done with the pilot study, we stayed under 0.8 for 2.5 months. And there was no rhyme or reason, so, but you can't take a chance that it's gonna stay like that. And that's the reason that we'll have the chemical for basically, we will have to, it's gonna be on a 30-day average, monthly average. Okay, so if we go a couple of days and nothing's going on, then we might not feed for a while. We'll just have to play it by ear, but they're not gonna give you any, there's no leeway. Okay, it's in the permit, we have to get there. So biologically what's happening at the plant now, is keep it low, could change.
Do you know what the source of this is?
Phosphorus?
Yeah,
Well, I think it's all over the place.
I mean, it's,
You got soaps and,
okay. There's something puts it in there. It's not just
I think-
naturally occurring in the water.
I think phosphorus is in all wastewater to a degree.
Is there something bad if happens that comes out over 1? I mean, I know it's in the permit, but.
Well, now, what they worry about, phosphorus
Leads to algae.
is where you get your algae blooms and the stuff that happens down in the Mississippi Basin and whatnot. It's all about algae and taking oxygen out of the water and harmful to the fish life. That didn't come out right.
We don't
What
hurt
was
those
fish life?
fishes.
No.
It's a good lesson in what you do. You always need those lessons.
Yeah, no,
Explain
that's
things to
fine.
people.
But yeah, we're ironing it out. I'm trying to keep the costs down as much as I can. So I wanna get the pumps bought. I wanna get the tank or tanks. We're not sure if we're gonna have to go with 2 tanks or 1 tank. I wanna get those purchased. we're looking at doing some kind of a pole building on top. This doesn't have to be a Taj Mahal, doesn't have to be a brick building of any kind. You just have to have heat in there.
So you store all the, what'd you call aluminum what?
It's sodium aluminum.
Sodium aluminum. And that's in liquid form,
Yes,
in a tank? How do they bring it in? They bring it in a tank or?
they're bringing it in a tanker,
Oh, and you
just like we
unload
get
it?
our carbon now.
So what, how much can you store? Can you
There's
store?
a shelf life of about 6 to 7 months. So we don't want to have too much on hand. So what we'll probably end up doing is feeding a low amount year round, because we don't want to have a couple thousand gallons sit in there and then get past the shelf life. It's just wasting money.
So is it interjected in as liquid?
Mhm.
And just, you spray it in or just? goes
Oh, no,
in?
no, no, it's a metering pump.
Okay.
It'll go through a tubing, some kind of a conduit. It'll be inside of a conduit that would keep it from freezing.
Okay. So would you put in, is it prescribed to put in X amount per gallon or X amount per,
It was kind of,
you just measure it and then keep
no,
putting it in? till you-
it was hit and miss. When we first started, we started out with, gosh, 50, 60 gallons a day. And then when it finally took hold, by the end, we were probably feeding them 15 gallons a day.
Okay. So you've done this?
We did a pilot study.
Right.
Yeah, did it for a month and a half, 2 months.
What's this stuff cost? Is it so much a gallon or?
Yeah. It all depends on how much you get. Okay, so if you get a full tanker, you get it for so much. You get a half a load. I think he said it might be a half a cent a gallon more.
More than what? Is it
More than what the
$1 a gallon
price
or
is.
$10 a
It's
gallon?
it's not $1 a gallon. No, we're not gonna go down to Dollar General and get a couple buckets.
So what's this gonna add to your costs? I mean, besides the construction and all that, what,
The plant,
yeah, to your plans, is it gonna add $1,000 a month or $5,000 a month?
no, it's not gonna be $5,000 a month, I don't think. We haven't figured that out. I mean, it's just like the carbon. When we get a load of carbon, it's about, $9,000. And it's lasting 2 to 3 months per load. I don't anticipate this being the same. See, we're feeding almost 50 gallons a day of carbon.
You interject that the same way?
Yeah, we put it in the very head of the plant, before the pumps. And we'll be using probably the same kind of pump that we've got there to dispense this liquid. Yeah, state DEP don't give you any options.
But it's caustic to handle, so you can't be touching it and stuff like that, or?
Well, you can get it on you, but you want to get it off you, so.
Okay.
It's the emergency shower.
Emergency shower, gloves, safety glasses, just take normal precautions.
That's interesting.
It will be.
What to come and see?
Any other questions, Superintendent Van Sickle? Why can't we use algae to take the phosphorus out? They use too much carbon and nitrogen, now we don't.
Why can't we use algae?
Yeah. We're trying to prevent.
Because
algal
the
blooms.
phosphorus is what promotes the growth of algae. Nitrogen and phosphorus.
Any other questions for Superintendent Van Sickle?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. Superintendent Lyons?
I don't have anything for the board at this time. If you got any questions for me?
Ready for tonight?
Ready. raise I am on that, it's still good.
About the waste cans,
Trash cans are up there?
trash cans, I'm sorry.
They're installed.
They're all done? Cool.
All installed with the exception of the bench.
Thank you.
I saw one new one that was almost full.
Probably.
You put it in the day before, so they're gonna be well used. Now, does Vance pick those up
Yeah, I've called them. and let them
every
know.
week?
Every week.
When they pick up Tuesdays, they pick it up? That's good. Hope that'll keep a lot of trash off the streets.
Hopefully so.
So we've got how many now?
10.
10?
Did you remove the wood ones?
Any other questions, Superintendent Lyons?
Everything working, it's, all equipment going good?
Yeah, so far. I do have a truck in the shop. It should be done every day or so. And then everything's working all right.
Good,
Plowing snow every weekend.
not much. Been a lot of little bitty snows, and that's kinda, what do you have, what's the rule?
Roll for what?
When do you plow? Inch,
Snow
half
on the
inch?
ground.
Huh?
Well, there's snow on the ground. It just varies, Dick. I mean, it
I mean,
depends
you don't
on-
have a rule that says when we get an
If
inch,
there's
you start?
inch of snow on the ground, we still gotta come in and put salt down, so.
Okay.
If there's 2 inches of snow or more, then we gotta get the bobcat out, remove it from downtown, do all that, but, I mean, whether we get an inch of snow or 8 inches, it's same amount of work really, with the exception of the bobcat that gets driven around bump outs, but. Just like over the weekend, that little bit that we had, it was slick enough that we had to come in and put some salt down, so, the stuff that we got Sunday and Monday? Saturday and Monday, I lost track. Both of those required a little bit of salt, so.
Have you got a good supply of salt?
Sure do.
Good, thank you.
Superintendent Myers?
I really don't have nothing for the board tonight. Not
You
gonna
guys
work.
always say the same thing, I don't have anything. I know you're doing stuff out there every
We are,
day.
but knock on wood, we're off this weekend, so seems like we had water leaks every weekend. But it was
No,
pretty quiet.
no water leaks, it's been quiet.
Other
You
than,
need to knock on your desk, knock on wood.
he already got Aaron's new street on Wabash Street up by the elementary
Yeah,
school.
yeah, we did have one last week, up by the school, on the new asphalt. but
Are most of the leaks related to the weather, or?
Not really, not yet, no. Not until it starts really thawing out. we'll get some leaks, but usually. The ones we had were just bad spots, Burger Street, and Wall Street. The one up by the school, it was just a 4-inch main that fractured, so. And it was pipe in the ground, so the process was that deep.
That's good.
Yeah.
Anything else for Superintendent Myers?
No.
All right, thanks, sir. Got the trail grant sent in last week. I don't know, it's probably like just, there's a bunch of documents with it, so we'll find out probably in March or April if we get it. That was a big thing. Worked on last week. Clerk Treasurer Aldrich, you got anything? All right. New business, I got 2 items. One is an income survey. This would be required if we were gonna apply to Okra for, a grant for water, wastewater, thinking water. I think it has to be, grant would have to be in, I believe it's June 28th. That's a roundabout number, I don't, it's going off the top of my head. I think it's sometime in June. But Lindy Conover Thompson from Essence Planning and Collaboration put together a proposal for us. She gave us 2 options. One is a full service income survey, which they do more or less everything. And then there's a limited service income survey in which we would have to go out and knock on doors, send out mailers, keep track of everything. I believe it's probably in our best interest to do the full service income survey, so that they're doing all the work, they're knocking on doors, they're sending mailers, I think they're making telephone calls, they're compiling all the data and preparing it for Okra. From what she said, I think they've got a pretty good success rate in proving that communities are at the 51% low to moderate income. So my recommendation would be to execute a contract with Essence Planning and Collaboration for $7,000 for a full service income survey. This would hit, well, it would take into account all households that get serviced by Delphi Water, which includes some households outside of city limits. I don't know what their process looks like. I don't think they have to ask every single person what their income is. I assume they do it based off a percentage of that, but they would do it off a percentage of the households that are serviced by Delphi Water. You guys have any questions for me?
Do they just ask, we knock on the door and say, how much money do you make?
Lane, were
Like
you here
this.
when
Yeah, that's what I was
Curbside?
gonna say, so that, what we've done previously does not apply. Curbsy did it
Yeah.
for two different projects.
Curbside,
Yeah, I think Curbsy did.
Curbside was the one that put me in touch with Essence Planning and Collaboration. I don't believe it's still applicable, and even if it was in terms of time frame, I don't think it would be because it doesn't capture stuff outside of city limits that we service.
The reason for this is because the grant requires this previous to,
We would have to be 51% LMI, or low to moderate income,
for the whole city?
for the entire service area.
Where does this money come from?
This would be water
Out of water?
operating, yeah.
Okay. And this is something we have to have done.
To be able to apply for the grant,
Right.
yes.
How long does it last? I mean,
That's a good question.
it's good for,
I don't know how long it's good for.
Those others were a year. Supposedly, anything that you applied for within that year, they supposedly were out.
somebody's created a real racket, haven't
I think it's the federal government.
they? Yeah, they're good at that, they're the best.
You need a motion on this?
Yes, I would ask for a motion to execute a contract for full service income survey for $7,000.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, I'll get that back to Essence. The next item of business that I have, through the trail security grant, we have a certain number of funds, and we got a lot of stuff done. We got the cameras done, we got kiosks, we have lights up at Blue Bridge and Freedom Bridge. Trail markers are done, they need to be installed. But I was kind of holding back on lighting in Riley Park, in the park area, until we figured out where everything shook out with cost. But it looks like we've got, I believe, $29,000 left in those grant funds. So my recommendation would be to execute a contract with Duke for 7 lights at Riley Park at a total cost of,
This is 7 in addition to what's already there?
correct, so the total cost would be $21,161.75. Included maps that
Can you
more or less show
Tell me
that.
where that's,
So
this is the walk track, right?
correct, so they go along the walking path by the woods on the south side.
By the back of your house, right? Down-
Correct.
Down below, okay.
It's on the south side of Riley Park, and they kind of curve back to the scout cabin.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
And that map,
Are these LED lights,
correct, on an aluminum pole.
do they match what's down there at all, or have anything to do with what's down there?
I don't believe so. This is a 3-inch diameter black aluminum pole. I don't think they would match, but they're really not close to any other lighting down there except for maybe at the tennis court.
Yeah, that'll be all right.
That should help light the park up at night.
Will they be, are they on a timer or a sensor?
I'd imagine they're on
They should be on
sensor.
photos, so,
So dawn to,
dawn to dusk,
dawn to dusk,
Vice versa.
or vice
dusk
versa.
to dawn.
Dusk to
whatever.
dawn.
But they're not, don't we have the yellow, what are the lights that are down there? They're,
Oh, I don't know what those
not
are.
LED, or at least
Oh,
they're
no.
not white LEDs.
No, they're some sort of mercury vapor bulb or
Right.
something, it's got more yellow, no heat to it.
Yeah.
Probably gotta be something that we look at maybe upgrading in the future, changing them out, because the two lights that I installed in the parking lot are also LED. So they're more of the brighter,
Do we have, is that metered, you know?
This one I think would be metered.
this one I think is.
But the other one is not, the
The
other
other
lights
one's-
are not metered.
Well, the lights that we have down there currently are metered, because those aren't Duke's lights, those are our lights,
Oh, okay.
correct?
No,
Those are Duke's lights?
Duke owes us. That's who I call when we have a problem. I just
Oh.
told them last year when the pole was bad, and they came out and fixed it. If that wasn't their pole, they
They
wouldn't
wouldn't
fix
fix
it
it,
for
would
me,
they?
but. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're Duke's. At least they fixed it. If not, then we got a freebie out of it, so.
I doubt that.
Pay several.
And it's probably rolled into one of the park's meters.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we're paying for it, obviously, but.
Yeah.
Any other
Sounds good to
questions?
me. No?
Not a motion to accept the contract with Duke for $21,161.75.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I didn't realize I kept this on the agenda. At the last city council meeting, we discussed moving meeting locations. From what it sounds like, city council meetings probably starting in April will be moved to the community center. My recommendation would be we move at the same time. So starting in April, if the city council so elects at their next meeting to move down there, that we do the same.
We're gonna be down there too, okay. Is that gonna be permanently?
Oh, I don't know.
Right now,
Permanently right now?
I move we move our meeting
Uh,
5:30 on.
I'd rather wait until, we've got 2 meetings in March, so I'd rather just make sure the city council does that their March meeting, and then come our second meeting in March, we can,
Move, if the city council moves down there, we move to our location, same time,
all right, I'll second that.
5:30. Their meeting's at 6 o'clock, is that still correct?
Correct. The motion and second, if the city council moves meeting locations, that we go with them. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. So I've got for the agenda, Clerk Treasurer Aldrich, anything? Mr. Traeger? Mr. Bradshaw? Public? All right, one last motion we made.
Make the motion we adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. It's 5:58 PM Eastern Daylight Time.
No, they don't see one.
Thanks, guys.